are discernible within Bach's superabundant musical output. Such an essentially synoptic approach to Bach's oeuvre puts into sharper view the composer's inquisitive musical mind, which produced such a remarkably steady stream of transformational works. For all of the compositions under consideration, this volume considers aspects of Genesis, with an emphasis on primary sources, salient musical features, and other essential facets of historical import and general consequence. I have also included concise illustrative tables for collections and individual pieces, designed for convenient reference and informative overview. Yet the chapters and sections of this book cannot fully live up to the music itself. They do not aspire to present detailed analyses, nor are they meant to supplant existing critical introductions to the works under consideration. Instead, they complement what is available in existing literature. In this book, I have drawn freely on my earlier writings, teachings, and research, but in conceiving its focus and thrust, I primarily intended that it supplement and complete the picture offered in my biographical study, Johann Sebastian Bach, the Learned Musician, Norton, 2000. Although the present study relates closely to the earlier book, my Bach biography is referenced only occasionally vis-à-vis specific biographical information and other essentials. In general, any Bach biography can provide sufficient background. Important dates are presented in a brief synopsis at the end of this volume. Since Bach scores are readily available, musical examples have been kept to a minimum. Facsimiles of original sources provide much supplemental information regarding the chosen works and draw the listener closer into their historical context. The facsimile pages reproduced in this book are extensively complemented by Bach Digital, the comprehensive digital library of Bach manuscripts made available by the Leipzig Bach Archive, which provides navigation instructions in English, www.bach-digital.de. For searching secondary literature, readers might find useful the Bach Bibliography online, www.bach-bibliography.de, maintained by the Leipzig Bach Archive as well. The pieces discussed here are identified by the numbers of the systematic thematic catalog of Bach's works, the Bachwerkeverzeichnis, abbreviated BWV. These numbers readily facilitate searches for the pertinent scores and musical editions, as well as for the ample variety of recorded examples that exist for virtually every Bach composition. The most recent version of this indispensable reference manual, the thoroughly revised third edition of the BWV, issued under the auspices of the Leipzig Bach Archive, includes up-to-date information on every individual work, informed by the most recent scholarship. Prologue. On the primacy and pervasiveness of polyphony. The composer's business card. 17th and 18th century composers and music theorists vigorously debated the general principles of musical composition, but they rarely, if ever, recorded reflections on creative motivations, artistic aims, and aesthetic priorities. We search in vain for discussions of individual compositional approaches, imaginative choices, and distinctive preferences. Indeed, for all the elements of artistic originality. How, then, can we determine the essence of Johann Sebastian Bach's art of musical composition? An inveterate practitioner of his art, Bach articulated his views as a composer almost exclusively through his works, that is, in purely musical terms rather than in words. Despite his role as a devoted and inspiring teacher, which made him one of the busiest and most influential musical educators of all time, he was notoriously reluctant to write about his life and work. He never followed up on a request from Johann Mattheson, made in 1717, for an autobiographical note. Likewise, in 1738, he left it to his friend Johann Abraham Birnbaum to answer Johann Adolf Scheibe's critical remarks about his turgid and confused style.